In this video, I'm going to walk you through the steps for completing the glider project. And to do this, we're going to have to create multiple parts in our part studio. So when you click on the link from Schoology to the part file, it opens up the fuselage here, which you can see that's my part right over there. And when I made this part, I used lofting. So if I go through my sketches here in my feature tree, you can see that I offset planes, and then I created some sketches. And for these cutouts, what I did was I used, because I didn't have a planar surface, I used the front plane to create, for instance, this cutout here, and I did it symmetrical, so it extruded the cutout in both directions. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll get started. First thing I'm going to do is create my main wing, and according to the project directions, the maximum wingspan is 6 inches. I have a planar surface here to work with, so I'm going to select this face, and then I'm going to go to a top view. And start my sketch. And I'm going to work right on this midpoint right here. And I'm going to do like kind of like a little bit of a sweep there. We'll go right to, we'll go right to project off that point. There. And there. Okay. I'll add some dimensions. And because I'm just going to draw half of it, I want that to be 3 inches. There we go. Then I'm going to mirror this now. Use that as my mirror line. All that is my, there we go. And now I'm ready to do an extrude. Pick extrude. I've got my 2 profiles there. We're using balsa wood, which is 1/8 of an inch, or 0.125. And instead of adding material or removing material, I'm going to say new here, which is going to create a new part. You'll notice that part 2 appears now in my feature tree. And now I can orbit that around, and you can see I've created the wings there. I'm going to rename part 2 to main wing. So over in my under parts here, I'm going to right mouse button on part 2, choose rename, and I'm going to call it main_wing. And hit enter. And now I'm ready for my vertical tail. So I'm going to go back to my isometric view. And for this one, I'm going to sketch on this, let me zoom in here, this face right here, and I'm going to extrude it towards this other face, 1/8 of an inch. And when I do that, I'm going to put it in wireframe so I can see things a little easier. So I'm going to switch to my front view after I'm going to pick this face as the face I want to make a sketch on. Click on the sketch. Then I'm going to look at my front view, and I'm going to change this to the edges visible. There we go. And I'm going to work from there. Go up here. I'll project off of maybe that point. Close my profile. And I'm going to create another little cutout here so I can insert my horizontal stabilizer there. I want that to be 0.25. I'm going to make this 0.25. I'll do a little trimming, get rid of that. Okay. And maybe I can add a dimension on there just to clean it up a little bit. So that's one. Okay, that looks pretty good. And when I extrude this one, I'm going to pick this profile, and I'm going to make that 0.125, and I'm going to choose New again, click the green checkbox, and now I've got part 3. I'm going to right mouse button on that, rename, and I'm going to call that vertical tail, and hit enter. And then the last thing I need to do is put in my stabilizer. So to do that, I can pick on, let's say, this face now, create a sketch, look at the top view, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. I'm going to start from the midpoint here, go over, project off that point. Okay, I'm going to do a mirror. That's going to be my mirror line. That's what I'm going to mirror. And let me just orbit around a little bit so I can make sure I extrude this in the right direction. So I'm going to want to extrude this up. And I'm going to say extrude. I want that, 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 and that to be 0.125. And I want to choose New. Click on the green checkbox, and over here on part 4, I'm going to right mouse button and rename that one stabilizer. And I'll go back and I'll switch to my shaded view. And I can orbit around, and there's my glider, all the pieces designed in place. And again, we use 1/8 of an inch for balsa wood. That now I could create an engineering drawing of this main wing and laser cut it, or I could laser cut the vertical tail. So there it is. There's our glider project, multi-parts in Part Studio.